cut Treadwell. I don't want to see him next year in the Vikings uniform. They're total idiots if they keep him. You need to cut the cord. Okay,
right.
Except the fact that you screwed up that pick.
What about Jarius Wright? I mean, that could be a move that you can get him back from Carolina. I love Jarius Wright.
I don't understand. I never really understood why he was cut. I don't know if there was something behind the scenes we don't know about. North Turner had no problem picking him up. That was in my view, that was a mistake. Unless there was something behind the scenes that he was a bad individual or something, and that's the reason why they cut him. I don't know. That move still baffles me. I had no problem with him.
Now, I know every team has their ups and downs. Okay, I listed some of them after the game. I honestly, like Dave, I'll be honest with you. At 20 years old, and I know people are going to laugh at this, oh, you're only 20, whatever. You get numb to it. And I know I can't even imagine the other Viking fans. You just get numb to it. There's no other way. It's like there's no other way for this team. There's always a heartbreaker. There's always something. You're just emotionless. Like, I'm looking at my dad. I'm like, my God, how do you do this for 50 years? Like, this is, I don't even feel anything after these games. I am so numb to the pain, so numb to the losing. It's like, what the hell? Like, when is this going to change? So I wrote down some things. I want to get your thoughts on some of these. I want you to give me like the number one thing. Okay, that was like, okay, this was a huge reason why the season was a dud. Okay, obviously we talked about Mike Zimmer. I think he has a little Bill Belichick in him, like kind of like in the sense that
without the wins, yeah.
Right, he's kind of can see like he led. He had Sam Bradford. He led Case Keenum to the playoffs. He led Teddy Bridgewater to the playoffs. He's taken a bunch of quarterbacks. I think he's stubborn. I think he has a little Bill Belichick in him in the sense that he doesn't want to change, and he thinks he's almost better than everyone. He's never wrong. Another thing is Kirk Cousins. Obviously, I can't sit here and kill him for everything. Statistically, he did pretty damn well, but I know it doesn't tell the whole story. Mike Hughes tearing his ACL, I thought was huge. Nick Easton being out for the year in the beginning of training camp was huge. Terrence Newman retiring. Tony Sperano, just as a human standpoint, it's horrible, and I think it also really hurt the offensive line. I thought he was a big part of that. Dalvin Cook being hurt every other week in the beginning of the year. Xavier Rhodes constantly, and Rhodes had a horrible year, I thought. He was totally down here. Sendeo, make the NFL great again, whatever. He should be gone after this year. The Griffin going through his, when he had to leave the team for mental issues, that was horrible. Weird. That was really weird. The John DeFilippo, the kicking situation. And I know that teams go through adversity, but boy, is that crazy or what?
I agree. I mean, there's the Everson Griffin thing. That was a bizarre situation. The fact that he was back on the team a month later was really bizarre to me. The Soprano thing, I wanted to touch on that with you and get your opinion because it was brought up yesterday in the press conference, and a lot of people agree that had something to do with the offensive line.
Yep.
And, it was tragic. But here's my question for you, and don't take this the wrong way. Tony Soprano had been in and out of a lot of jobs in the NFL. Was he really the glue and the reason why the offensive line went bad? I just disagree with that 100%. This offensive line was not that good last year.
No, they weren't. That's what I'm saying. Sperano, I thought, did a pretty good job dealing with his guys. And I know there were some injuries this year. Continue.
Well, I just thought that, using the Soprano thing was brought up yesterday, and I just think that, I don't know how much, that it was pretty much, last year you had Case who could move around, and a lot of times, if you can move around, you don't pay attention to how bad the offensive line was. They were pretty bad last year, too, and I think people forgot about it because they got to the semifinals. They had the miracle play. But, yeah, you're right. They did have a lot of bizarre things going on. The Rhodes thing was bothering me, too. He could never get healthy.
Yep.
Maybe he should have sat out a couple of games to get help. I don't know, but now all of a sudden he was totally gone on Sunday.
And Kendricks was, too.
The kicking situation was bad. That was a decision he should have sat on at least for a couple more weeks. You can't.
Dave,
The guy was a rookie.
let me tell you this, okay? Because I felt like that too. Like when I looked back at this, and I did a lot of soul searching after this Bears game. I watched that Packer game, okay? I can't sit here and blame. I know he was a 5th-round pick, but he was struggling in the preseason. He was missing extra points against the 49ers. I mean, he lost that game for the Vikings.
But why do you think that suddenly he turned into an all-star after he left here? Do you think some of it could have been because the way Zimmer, threw him under the bus? We don't know for sure, but that can affect a guy's head.
No, I get it.
Bad boss, and right away, it's never on the defense. You never hear Zimmer in his press conference say, "Well, Anthony Barr, he sucked. Did you watch the game?" Well, he did against the Rams. He did, Sunday. He rated like dead last in linebackers in the running game. You never hear Zimmer ever say anything bad about him. But if it's a kicker, he gets cut. Well, why is Anthony Barr still on the team?
Well, I think you got to sign Richardson over Barr anyways, but I think with the kicking situation, I also think, you're kicking for the Oakland Raiders, Dave. They're horrible.
Well,
I think that's also a thing.
But he's got the leg. You could see that. I just think that was something. And if your games are coming down to the kicking situation every week, then there's more problems with your team.
Fair.
You can't rely on your kicker. There's a lot of kicks missed during the league. I just think that was a bad decision by him that quickly.
Fair enough.
Now we're going to wish we've had him going into next year. But anyway, what else you got for me?
I just one last thing. I wanted to get your playoff predictions. Do you have a Super Bowl pick?
Well, I'm chalky. I think it's going to be the Saints and the Chiefs, and I'm actually looking forward to that. I think the Chiefs are going to get in there with a couple of home games. I think the Saints are going to be tough to beat, and maybe the Rams can get them, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be the 2 favorites, and I think it's going to be a really good Super Bowl this year. I think these next 2 weeks are going to be a lot of fun, but I just think this year that New Orleans and the Rams and the Chiefs, kind of the Patriots. They are the Patriots. They're still the separators. Somebody could beat New England at home next week,
agree.
But I doubt it. I don't know. I just think it's chalky again this year, and I think the Saints being in that dome are going to walk to the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to be a big battle against the Chiefs, wide open.
Did you watch the Gopher Hoops game last night?
I did, and the choke was coming. I could feel the negativity. I love it. You know what? I'm just going to be positive. I just hope we get something from the Gophers this year. We need something, man.
We need something.
Excitement. Now, hey, they've got winnable games coming up. The schedule, I think they got 4 or 5 home games.
Yep.
4 out of 5.
Maryland.
Let's see what goes on. That's a big game, but let's win some games here. Christ, this is just sickening. Because the Wild, the Timberwolves are dead.
You think?
Go ahead.
You think that the Wild are dead? They just won 2 in a row here?
Yeah.
Dead. Okay.
Absolutely, they are. They're just over. There's a lot of veterans who were never goal scorers. They can't score goals.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
They just can't. And Dubnik's in and out again. I don't know how he made the All-Star game.
Oh my gosh, that's a joke.
That's worse than the Barr situation. What an embarrassment. But yeah, I just think the Wild are dead. They'll pick up a win here and there like they did the other day, but they gave up a goal 7 seconds in the other day.
Yeah, it was 2-0 after like the first couple minutes. Now, another little stat I want to give you. This was the first time that the football team and basketball team won in the same season in Madison since 1973. How about that, Dave?
Wow, it is 73. I was wondering about that today.
And they're the last time they won in Madison was 2009. Last time they beat a Badger team in Madison that was ranked 1994. So that is big time.
Do you see the things there for the Gophers to be a threat? A top 5 team in the Big Ten this year? Or is that
I
too
do.
much?
I do. I think that. Do you know Ben Simmons for the 76ers? Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that Amir Coffey really resembles his game. Plus, Amir Coffey can shoot the ball way better. I think you've got a guy that can score off the dribble whenever. You always need that guy. You know, Nate Mason was that guy for us for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think Amir Coffey is that. I think you have really good role players. I think that Jordan Murphy is one of the best players in the Big Ten. Also, he had 5 points yesterday, and the Gophers still won and fouled out. I think you got some good pieces. I think McBrayer's good. I think you got a pretty good kid off the bench that could shoot in Brock Stull. I don't know if they have the depth necessarily, Dave, but I think that they can finish in the top 5, and I do think they're going to get a at-large bid in the tournament this year. I'm not saying they're a Final Four team, but it wouldn't. It would. I'll be all right. It would surprise me.
Win a couple games, I would think. It could go a couple games, get to the Sweet 16.
No, I was going to say I think it would surprise me if they made the Sweet 16. I'm just being honest there, because you have to assume they'll probably get a 7 or 6 seed at an at-large bid. But I'm excited, man. They need to pick it up, because when the Vikings were bad, or whenever the Vikings really were eliminated these last few years, you had the Wild to rely on. You're not going to have that, and God knows you don't have the Timberwolves. So someone's got to step up here and carry the load until Twinks baseball after a huge Nelson Cruz signing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to. I know you're the type of guy that'd get excited about that pick.
All right.
Okay, he's 38. They don't have any pitching. Okay, they just don't have any pitching.
Oh.
They need to sign. Don't get me started unless you want to go in next week. We'll touch on that. Let's see what happens here.
That is negative, Dave. And Dave, thank you for coming on today. We will continue this next week. We'll talk a little about the Twins.
I've got one thing for 2019.
Go,
Steve. Here's FSN, Fox Sports North, my favorite station. I need to see and hear less of Mike Greenlay on the Wild broadcast. This guy is terrible. Make a change. Get someone else in there. Brutal. That's all I got to say there.
I don't know if I can air that, but I will ask my producer if I can. That's negative, Dave. Yeah. I mean, it's FSN. I don't know if they have a relationship or not, but that is negative, Dave. He has his thoughts today. Right. We will continue this next week on the Strom Sports Show. Dave, have a great day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Negative Dave, everyone. Fun show. I hope I vented for you guys, and if you want to vent with me, you know my Twitter. I'm always down to tweet and talk about the Vikings' horrible season, and we just got to look forward to Gopher hoops or something like that. Someone's got to step in here and take charge, because this is going to be a long couple months here if one of these teams don't emerge into some type of contention. Either it's the Gopher basketball team or the Wild or whatever it may be. Huge shout out to Brandon Morton, my producer Jim Suhan. We will talk to you guys next Sunday on the Strom Sports Show.